Well, hello, everybody. This is Matt Sizemore with Good Morning, Idaho. Hope you're all having a wonderful week. Now, today we are continuing our Mental Health Monday series as May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and we've got another incredibly important topic today. Last week, we talked to experts about identifying mental health issues in adults, and today we focus on our youth. Joining me to discuss this issue is Idaho Resilience Project board member Katie Francis, as well as Optum Idaho pediatric neuropsychologist Dr. Dennis J. Woody. Thank you both so much for being here today.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah. Of course. Let me start with, I'd say arguably the most important question, which would be, how can we go about identifying a mental health issue within our teens or younger children?
Well, that's a great question, Matt. The reality here is that we as parents know our children well. And I think it's when they step out of their typical character, when you notice that they're either reserved or withdrawn, moody, angry, more so than they might typically be, difficulty with things like concentrating. And as a matter of fact, one of the most common sorts of things that go awry for school-age kids is that they're struggling in school where perhaps earlier they might not have been. These are some of the early indicators that a child is responding to stress that's overwhelming their ability and potentially their ability to manage it. So that's where the door opens to a lot of questions about mood and frustration in the child.
Yeah, that all makes sense. Katie, would you like to add something to that?
I think a big piece, like Dr. Woody said, is just as you start to see that change and anything out of the ordinary, we always talk about being curious, is that sometimes as parents or educators, we think we know what's best. We always think we know what's going on with kids, but it's our job to really just be curious and start to ask questions and ask what we can do to help. It was a great way to start those conversations with kids who might be just feeling a little off or things might be changing for them.
Yeah, one thing we always hear from really everybody is talk to your kids, and that's the best way to go about that. So, of course, resiliency, that's something that we all want to have really at all stages of life. But how can we not I should say, as a parent, we especially hope that it's something that our kids will either have or develop. So, in your opinions, how can we really build that resilience in our youth?
I think one of the best ways to do it as adults is we can model it. We have to teach our kids and even the other people we work with in our community that we are all able to overcome adversity. It is part of life. Stress is part of who we are, and understanding that we have a community of support and there's people out here that truly do care about you and that you can overcome. I love the idea. We went to a recent conference and they really talked about we don't just bounce back, but we want to bounce forward. And there's so much we can learn by overcoming those challenges. And that's what resiliency is all about.
You know, it's really interesting when you look at the relationship that parents have with children. We teach children how to be resilient from the very get-go. When a child becomes frightened and then retreats to their parent, and we relieve that normal stress that they have, we're helping them begin that whole process in the maturation and development of being able to cope with normal levels of stress and then reapproach the stressor maybe with a different plan of attack.
Yeah, that's very interesting. I never really looked at overcoming even something like overcoming shyness. I have a 2.5-year-old, and that's a good way to look at that. She runs to me when she gets shy. And it's just, I guess, a very minor form of overcoming or becoming resilient. So a good way to look at that. Now, my next question for you, now let me start with you on this, Katie, as a board member of the Idaho Resilience Project. What exactly is the Idaho Resilience Project?
So the Idaho Resilience Project is a network of providers and people just within the communities. And we have 7 different regions. And so each region has a different collaborative that is working on different focus areas. And the goal is really just to help our family, our community, and most importantly, our kids understand that they can overcome adversity and build those supports in our community. And the best piece is that we just want our community to thrive. And so giving opportunity, providing education. That is really our goal. And so it's really just creating the structure and the support across the state.
Awesome. Sounds like a great program. Now, let's talk about HOPE, or HOPE. Of course, that means something a little more when it comes to the Idaho Resilience Project. What exactly does that stand for, and what's it all about?
Hope is what gets us through, but more importantly, hope means healthy outcomes through positive experiences. And you can't talk about hope until you understand what an ACE is. And an ACE is an adverse childhood experience. And so that is something that happens to us between the ages of 0 and 18 that can truly have an impact and really disrupt our development or our ability to regulate. And so the purpose of Hope Week and, this study of hope is that it counteracts those ACEs, and it helps us to retrain our brain and understand that we do have support and we do have this ability to have these positive experiences, not just within our family and our friend groups, but just within our community as a whole. And so that hope can really replace, hopefully, some of those negatives that have happened in the life of, the children that we get to work with.
And, it's actually pretty clear that even as adults, if we've experienced chronic sorts of difficulties throughout our childhood development, even as an adult, there are interventions that actually work and improve the outcomes for adults in the context of their mental health and also their physical health, including things like abdominal problems, brain problems, cancer even. So I think Katie's point here is having hope is the awareness that there is something that can be done to make the situation better.
Yeah, great points. Always know that something can be made better, hopefully. Okay, so next question. Katie, I wanted to ask you another question really about, in your experience working with the Idaho Resilience Project and working with Hope, what kind of results, what positive results have you seen from it all?
It's amazing. It's when you are intentional about creating these experiences and opportunities, that's when we really find a way to connect within our communities. And that's what we do. Hope Week is coming up. It's May 8th through the 12th, and all across the state, in partnership with Optum Idaho, we are providing all sorts of different resources and materials for our different community partners. And when you are intentional about it, you just get to see the community come back together. And especially since the pandemic, we kind of lost touch. And so I love getting out there and getting to meet new people in the community and our neighbors. And that's really what Hope Week is all about, is just those reminders to connect face to face, not just, we're virtual today, but that's the best part, is that you really do get to get out in your community and create those positive experiences for families.
Great. And Dr. Woody, in your opinion and your experience as a pediatric neuropsychologist, how important are these kind of programs?
They're essential. They really are, not only at the individual level and the family level, but also at the community level. And again, to Katie's point earlier, the notion of being curious or concerned is something that is perfectly reasonable to express to someone that you have an awareness of that might not be doing well. So out in the community, we need to engender this idea that we're there to be supportive and helpful. And, when you look at it more formally, there are lots of resources when it comes to mental health counseling that can address concerns of a parent or the concerns of an adolescent teen regarding whatever it is they're feeling.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, go ahead, Katie.
Nope, you're great.
Oh, sorry, I thought you had something. And I wanted to ask, this question could be for either one of you or Dr. Woody, if you wanted to start as well. How about some other resources for potential emergencies within our youth, mental health emergencies? Like I believe it was, correct me if I'm wrong, 988 is a good resource for mental health emergencies.
It is. There's the Optum crisis line as well that anyone actually can call, not just Medicaid members. We have lots of things that are occurring in the communities around the state of Idaho. Optum is supporting and facilitating mental health first aid for adults, for teens, and for youth. That's wherein a team will go in and actually train local groups about mental health crises and what is the best way to manage them. And we've found that over the last couple of years, I think about 1,700 people around Idaho have taken these courses and benefited in their own town.
Wow, great. Go ahead, Katie.
Yeah, and the Idaho Resilience Project, we on our website, we actually have an events page. And so what we try to do is we highlight different things that are available, and Youth Mental Health First Aid is definitely one of those events that we love to share across the state. But even more so, we have those resources available too. So findhelpidaho.org is a great one that helps to connect with services within the community. And utilizing those different resources online are great. And I know that there are a lot of programs in our area. Specifically, I'm over in Eastern Idaho. Our community family clinic is a great place for families to connect and get that support they need for kids, because we know that there is definitely a shortage. And so we really want to focus and highlight on those agencies that are available to help support families within the community. But I think also remembering that schools are a fantastic resource. School counselors and your schools, your children's teachers, those people are very well educated and have great backgrounds to help support kids. That's what they do all day. So I think remembering as parents that those are a great connection for us, and those are great people that can really help facilitate and support. They spend so much time with our kids, and so that's another great opportunity to connect.
Great advice there. My last question for you both, aside from, of course, the biggest thing, arguably the biggest thing, which is just talk to your children every chance you get, would you both say would be the biggest piece of advice that you might give to friends or family of struggling with to help them get to where they want to need to be?
Katie?
I can hop in first. I think the most important thing is that we have to understand with kids and with teens, it just takes one person. It truly, if you can help your child connect with somebody in the community, and sometimes for us as parents, that might not be us, and that's okay. But if they have that one safe, supportive, stable adult in their life that they are able to facilitate that relationship with, you want to support that as a parent, as a coach, as a teacher. It doesn't matter what that looks like, but if you have that opportunity to build a relationship for children, that they really have someone that they know is in their corner and will show up for them every day. I always urge kids and teens that I've worked with that that's your person, and that they are going to be there for you, and to always use that support if it's available, and that to know that we care, and your community is there for you.
I think that's so well said, Kate. I guess if I had a comment to make to a parent, I would say, use your ears. Talking, communicating is a two-way process, but the impact comes when the person engaged feels as if they're heard and listened to. And we as parents know our children. We oftentimes want to offer them the support verbally, but what may also be just as curative, if you will, is the ability to listen and just wait it out in the context of the child's capacity, depending upon how old they are, to describe for you what it is that they're hearing. The commitment that we all have, not just as parents, but as community people, to be the one who reaches out with a concern or a question, or just noting that you're aware that person looks like there's something concerning them, and this reach out to them. I think that's probably the best start you can have.
Absolutely. Oh, go ahead, Katie.
Nope, that's great. I was just totally agreeing.
Gotcha. Yes, being proactive is the big thing that one could do, I would assume. Okay. Well, for both of you, that's about all the questions I have. Is there anything else you want to add about this very important subject?
Nope. I think this is a great opportunity just to get that exposure out in our community and start these great conversations. And hopefully everybody participates in the local Hope Week events that you guys have coming up. I know we're super excited here in Eastern Idaho. We are going to have a Hope Day block party on May 13th. It's going to be great here in our community, and I'm really excited for it. So hopefully everybody gets out in the sunshine and gets to participate.
I would agree, and I would say thank you for the opportunity to share this information with folks. And if you do have questions or concerns, feel free to pull up optumidaho.com. We've got lots of information and directions for folks to go. And if you still have questions, you can reach out to individuals.
Perfect. And that was going to be my next question is where can people find out more either about Optum Idaho or else the Idaho Resilience Project? How about maybe a website or phone numbers or whatever you want to give out?
Yep. If you just Google the Idaho Resilience Project, it'll take you right to our website. Like I said, there's tons of great resources. We talk about community events and trainings, and we have links to all of they've created some amazing videos talking about resilience, and there's some lovely stories about Idaho. I love watching those videos. So those are available online on our website as well.
And again, that Optum line, anyway, is optumidaho.com. And you can go to a members area as well as just general information.
Perfect. Okay. All just such great information today on such an important topic. And of course, joining me today to discuss the issue of youth mental health has been Idaho Resilience Project board member Katie Francis, as well as Optum Idaho pediatric neuropsychologist Dr. Dennis J. Woody. Both of you, thank you so much for being here today and giving out this incredibly important information.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you, Matt.